Red.
Blue.
Green.
Yellow. Hello
And welcome.
to another We Talk About. We decided so we decided to continue from last week.
Can you edit my forehead out?
So after talking about the village in last week's We Talk About, we wanted to keep going. With the
M. Night Shyamalan.
we settled on The Sixth Sense.
I see dead people walking around like regular people.
I don't see anything. Are you sure they're there?
Sometimes you feel it inside, like you're falling down real fast. You ever feel the prickly things on the back of your neck?
Yes.
That's them. They get mad. It gets cold.
How often do you see them?
All the time.
Probably his most famous film, I would say. It's often credited as his first. It's not. It's actually technically his third.
Yeah.
But
This first feature length.
it's not even his first feature. It's his third.
God damn it. Can I have a minute? Oh, God.
I don't even know where to begin with The Sixth Sense because for the longest time, even though I've really enjoyed his movies, I've never seen The Sixth Sense up until a month or 2 months ago, something like that. Now, of course, it being his most notorious film, I knew the ending, like, for the longest time, over the twist, which is kind of annoying. I wish I could have seen the film without that. But it did mean it was quite a unique watch, seeing it for the first time, because obviously I knew what to expect. This is going to contain spoilers. We're going to be talking about that twist.
Yeah.
The story for Sixth Sense, it's quite a simple one. So it opens with Bruce Willis and his wife in their house. Malcolm, Bruce Willis is called. Is that
Yeah.
his character's name?
Dr. Malcolm.
So they're celebrating. He's been given an award for being an exceptional child psychologist, and they go upstairs to have a wee bit of fun.
Fan.
There's a window smashed, and there's a shadow passes them, and it turns out it's one of his patients. That's
Patience.
the word.
And that character was Vincent Gray.
He's angry at Bruce Willis for not being able to help him. Obviously, shoots Bruce Willis. Now, at the time, because it cuts straight after that, a year later, Bruce Willis is fine. You assume it wasn't a fatal gunshot, but we'll get back to that. So he meets up with the wee boy. Cole's now his new patient.
Yeah.
And so you have scenes of them. He's trying to get to know Cole, ask him a few questions about his mum,
Yeah.
his dad,
They're
who's no longer
forming
there.
a relationship throughout, yeah.
Exactly. Start to find out a bit about him. He seems like quite a troubled child. His mum, she's struggling to try and keep things together, trying to look after him. And if that wasn't bad enough, Cole's getting picked on at school by his peers. You see a bit of that. You see how Bruce Willis is not getting on with his wife anymore. They're not speaking, or so you think. Cole gets taken to a birthday party, and 2 kids lock him in a cupboard, which supposedly has something in it, and
That only he can see.
And then the next scene, when he's at the hospital after that to check if he's alright, he comes clean to Bruce Willis and tells him that his secret that he was keeping from Bruce Willis from the moment they met is that Cole can see dead people walking around as if they were regular people. They don't know the fact that they're dead, but they are.
And Cole finds them terrifying.
Yes,
Because of the way they were killed, they're disfigured and they look scary.
yes, whatever happened to them that caused them to die, that'll be something pertaining to their appearance and when he sees them. On a side note, the scene between him and Bruce Willis whenever he reveals that is incredible. The acting, just the soundtrack, everything in that scene is just really good.
Yeah.
And so now that secret's out in the open, they start to go into a bit more detail with it. You start to see a lot of different ghosts.
Yeah, that whole world plays from Cole's perspective after that reveal. So you're starting to see these things in real time as Cole is seeing them.
So Malcolm's Bruce Willis goes through some of his previous, work logs and listens to some audio tapes, and he basically pieces together that the guy that shot him and then killed himself at the start of the movie, Vincent Gray, clearly had the same gift that Cole has. He can also see dead people, but unlike Cole yet, Bruce Willis didn't understand that at the time, and then that destroyed Vincent over the years, and then ultimately later he showed up, shot Bruce Willis, and took his own life.
Yeah.
He listens to the audio tapes he recorded of him and Vincent talking back, some 20 years earlier, and hears Ghost talking to Vincent, basically saying, I don't want to die, and all these, sad things. So he comes up with the idea to tell Cole, how about the next time one of these ghosts come to speak to you, instead of running away scared and being terrified, why don't you try and talk to them and see if maybe there's nothing. It's not a case of they're there to hurt you, it's a case of they want your help.
Yeah.
And Cole reluctantly tries that the next time, that's an option, and it's this wee girl. She basically guides Cole to a secret to reveal to her family that actually no, she didn't die of an illness. She was purposely poisoned by the maid in the house, or the babysitter, I suppose would be a better word for it, which is also an amazingly done scene. The music,
it's so horrible to watch.
It's obviously, it's horrible, but it's
you see
really
the
well
realisation on the dad's face as he's watching the tape, the evidence tape that was provided to Cole to give to this man.
Yeah, you start to see Cole become a lot, more content in himself. And obviously him and Bruce
he's getting a
Willis,
new sense of confidence.
Yeah, you have this scene where basically, Cole is, he was at a school play. Bruce Willis goes to see him. They have a wee talk afterwards, where Cole's like, "Is that it? And I'm never going to see you again." And Bruce Willis goes, "Well, I think I've kind of said everything we've said everything to each other we need to say. It's about time that you go to your mum and try and become closer with her again."
Yeah, it's like the theme of when you need me, when you don't know you need me. I'm there. It wasn't that not MVP.
I'm pretty sure it's not. She's like,
that was a pretty good lesson.
"Oh, what was it? When you don't want me but you need me, I'll be here. But whenever you want me but no longer need me, then I must go." Is that not
Yeah.
it? I mean, I never thought about it like that, but that makes sense. Then you have this scene that's really well acted, both on the part of the wee boy and his mum in the car, where he finally does tell her that he can see dead people, and that's the last time you see Cole in the story. That's his story closed, and I think it closed in a very, nice way, because obviously there's not really much else you could do there. Cole, he's a lot more content with himself thanks to Bruce Willis. He's learned to not see this gift completely as something to be terrified of, but to be something to
embrace.
There's a positive side to it,
because there's no getting rid of it, so you have to embrace it.
And then so you're left knowing that him and his mum, they're no longer estranged, they've came closer, and that's good to see. And now we get into the meat and potatoes, the famous twist. So Bruce Willis goes back home to try and talk to his wife, who's asleep. Cole told him to try and talk to her when she's asleep, because when you're asleep, you absorb information, supposedly, people talk to you. The ring falls off because she said, "Why did you leave me?" And Bruce Willis said, "I didn't leave you." And a ring falls off, and Bruce Willis looks, but the ring's still on her finger. And then he checks his hand.
That part was weird.
His is the ring that came off, and that's when you get the big reveal. Bruce Willis was dead the whole time.
Yep.
He got shot at the start of the film, and he died.
And it's really sad too, because he was saying goodbye to his wife and stuff, and he'd been living with her for a year. He thought he was alive with her for a year until this point.
Yeah.
So it's so sad that he finally realised that he was dead, and that why she was ignoring him.
That's the story right the way. We'll get into some wee thoughts about it, and thoughts about it. But here's the theory I have. So he's obviously tried to speak to his wife throughout the film, but she can't hear him because he's a ghost, right? But she can hear him whenever she's asleep. She can absorb that information, right? Cole says to him earlier, "I see dead people, they don't know they're dead." But he knows they're dead, right? Do you think Cole knew Bruce Willis was dead, and that's why he told him to try and talk to her when she was asleep?
Oh my god, yeah.
The reason, I imagine, obviously, I wasn't born when the movie came out. I was born after.
1999, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can imagine the thing that tricked people so much when they went to see the film, the reason its twist works so well, is because it is conniving about how it uses the way you're used to watching a film, the way a film's supposed to go.
Yeah.
And like
A streamlined narrative.
everything that Bruce Willis does in the film works whether or not he's dead
Yeah.
or alive. So he shows up with his wife in a restaurant for an anniversary dinner. He's late to the dinner because he can't keep track of time.
Literally, yeah.
She doesn't talk to him. So he's sitting going, oh, she's not talking to me, and he goes to reach for the menu and she snatches it away. And he's going, oh, so she's not talking to me because I was late for the anniversary dinner. I'm sorry. And she just sort of goes, oh, happy anniversary, and then like walks out. So he's like, oh, she's in a bad mood. But then when you look at it from the perspective of he's dead, she doesn't know Bruce Willis is there.
Yeah.
She's not talking because she doesn't know anything. She takes a look at it's not the menu, it's like the tab where you pay for it.
The
she
bill.
writes it down and she says happy anniversary because she's sad. She's saying happy anniversary because she misses him, and she leaves. So
She's
every
reinstating
scene-
these events that they do together,
Exactly. Every scene
but he thinks he's
works.
involved and that she's being called towards him because he doesn't know he's dead.
Obviously it's different when he's interacting with Cole because Cole sees dead people. But even disregarding Cole, every scene that Bruce Willis is in works when you're looking at it as he's alive, or works when you're looking at it when he's dead. And that's why it works, because the film's structured in a way that it is like I don't want to say regular film, but it's structured the way you would imagine a film like this would be, just a simple psychological drama sort of thriller, right? But then there's the twist at it in that he's obviously dead, but the film uses that to his advantage, where it makes every scene in a way that if you look at it with the lens that he's dead, it all makes sense. But if you don't know that that's the case yet,
Yeah.
you don't suspect anything.
Now that I'm thinking about this, I think he sees him as dead, but he's the first nice and approachable dead person.
Yeah.
Because Bruce Willis plays a very kind and welcoming character, whilst all the other dead people that Cole has seen have like flesh wounds and are scary looking, black eyes, maggots coming out the mouth. Well, Dr. Malcolm, he was the first approachable and kind soul. Yeah, cool.
And just whenever you say it, now you could say this is because he's a doctor and kids are afraid of doctors. Bruce Willis even says in the scene, you probably don't want to talk to me because your mother didn't have good luck with doctors. But it's just sort of dawned on me, maybe that's why when he first meets Bruce Willis, not at the church, but when he comes back to his house and Bruce Willis is there,
Yeah.
and they play that game to walk a step, the reason he maybe doesn't want to go straight ahead and sit down is because he's looking at him being like, you're dead, you can't help me, like, because he's realising this guy's another one of these ghosts that I see. See, this is what I mean.
Yeah.
Every scene. 23 years old this year, The Sixth Sense will be. Cinematography's great.
Yeah.
The soundtrack from James Newton Howard, amazing, just like it is for all of his original films. And to be honest, like, this is M. Night Shyamalan's third film that he's written and directed. First was Praying with Anger, second was Wide Awake, and then Sixth Sense.
His first classic.
For his third film in, like,
Very impressive.
very impressive. It's
Yeah.
I think the last time I checked, it is his highest rated one as well. So I was going into this being like, because I've been a big fan of M. Night for years, seen most of his films, but The Sixth Sense was one that always eluded me. I never had seen it. I wasn't sure what to expect going into it after all these years, knowing the twist. But I gotta say, it did still stand up. I think
It
it's
holds up against this whole catalogue.
and
Really.
I think plenty of people nowadays who've never even heard of it, who still have the chance to see it without knowing the twist, I think they'd be very impressed by it as well. It's still an incredible film. It's really good.
Read the Bible. Yeah, so what's the Teespring then?
The Teespring store is where you can get exclusive.
Vapes? What's he putting in his mouth?
The Teespring store is where you can see all the merchandise. Of course, there's the ZeusWeusFilm Patreon, which is where you get uncut episodes of the podcast,
Okay.
access to the Discord, and new exclusive things coming only to the Patreon.
Nice tiers, mate. I like it. What's the Discord all about then? So you got the
Gamers.
Discord. If you join the writer's block, we talking about the Emoji Movie. I mean, Smurfs is just a knockoff of the Purple Minions. Remember? Yeah, don't be a Smurf. Like. Oh man, I've been censored